Hey party people, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Bean.
And we're Kelly Beans Bees. We're first-time beekeepers here in Central Virginia. And today you might be wondering, where's Kelly?
Well, she's behind the camera.
I'm behind the camera.
So you may have seen the video that we put out recently where we went into the Chunky Monkey hive. It's actually right after that. This is pretty much 5 minutes after you just saw the outro to that one. So Kelly and I have swapped positions, and I'm going to go ahead and go through the cookie dough hive. Kelly went through the Chunky Monkey hive. So if you didn't see that video, you might want to go back and look at it. Doesn't really matter, but we like when you watch our videos.
And to see Kelly the beekeeper in action.
You're not wrong.
I did really well.
She did. I was proud of her.
Yeah, all right, I didn't drop anything or anything.
We're going to go ahead and get in. So this thing's a little bit glued down, not too bad. So I'm just going to slide my hive tool under here.
And if you guys are noticing, the cookie dough hive is popping today. Well, it's been popping since we got it, let's be honest. Alright. Top feeder. A few bees in there, but
not a lot. I'm going to see if I can get some smoke down in here just to drive them down. They're starting to move.
There's no feed in the feeder.
No, we've got more feed, so we're going to feed them. We were starting to actually fill out some of these frames with feed the last time we were here.
Hey, cookie dough.
So we haven't really wanted to put too much feed on these.
Alright, cookie dough is looking good. Cookie dough's been strong since day one, though. No mites on this side. Or hive beetle, sorry.
Something.
Is there? Oh, yeah, there was a little.
Yeah, but that wasn't a hive beetle. I don't know what that was. So the idea of these traps, I don't know if we've actually gotten any hive beetles on camera, but there are these little beetles that'll run around through the hives. And the beetle shells are actually too thick for the bees to sting through. So the bees don't really have a great defense against them. They can run them around and they can push them into the corners of the hives away from the pollen, which is actually what the hive beetle is going for. But that's all they can do. They can't really kill them. They can't get rid of them. So the hive beetle traps, we're hopefully giving the bees a place to run the hive beetles into that'll end up killing them for the bees. So let's start pulling these frames out and see what we've got.
You're not even smoking them first?
Probably can, but I was just pulling out the outside one. So that one's not really drawn, but we've got bees on it.
Prayers that it doesn't blow away like mine did. If you watched us in the last video, I had some frames sitting there and the wind came through and pow.
Yeah, the wind's whipping. You might be able to see as I try to smoke these bees.
Yeah,
I have to do it like right on top of the bees because the wind's so bad the smoke's just flying away.
Yeah.
All right. So, in this next frame, I'm happy to say that they're doing better than the Chunky Monkey hive. Ooh, this is heavy.
It's got a lot of honey on the top.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at them. What is it called when they're... Hold on, what is it called when they're hanging together?
I'll put the real word on the screen, but something like festooning or something.
Don't quote us on that,
right. I'll put the actual word on the screen and you can go look it up. But as Kelly was saying, the bees were kind of chained together like that. That's actually how they draw wax normally in nature. They will hang down like that, and each of them will start to draw wax down, and that's how they can draw wax, because they just hang by gravity. So wherever the gravity goes, that's where their wax is going to go. So yeah, we've got a lot of nectar, pollen, all kinds of things on this side. If you look right there where there are no bees, you can see a lot of pollen.
I don't even see where there are no bees.
Right there.
Oh, I see. It's different colored.
Yep, you can see all the different colors of the pollen they're storing. On this side of the frame, they're starting to draw it out, but haven't done a whole lot. A hive beetle!
Oh, my.
Oh, come on. Yes, I squished it.
I can't.
So, that's what a hive beetle is. This one's squished, but that's what it looks like.
Bye.
Every one we squish is less that we have in the hive. So, I think we may have talked about this before, but hive beetles themselves are not the problem. The problem is their larvae. They lay their larvae in the hive and they eat all the pollen. That's what they're going for. They're going for the protein that the bees are bringing in. When they do that, their excrement is nasty. And when a hive has had too many hive beetle larvae in it, it's what people call slimed out. It's really nasty, and like the hive has just been messed up by these hive beetle larvae. So that's what we're trying to avoid here.
So what do you
So
see?
we've got eggs down here. Oh, there's our queen right at the bottom of the frame. You see her?
I don't know.
Right there in the middle at the bottom.
I think. Oh.
She's kind of going under the other bees.
I don't know.
Over there on your left now?
On my left.
Yep.
I couldn't see her if I was blind.
I can't point because I'm holding the frame. Put your finger out. And then, like, right to your right. She's crawling under there.
Okay. I don't say that I can see her.
Okay, she's right there. You see her?
No?
No, she's right at the bottom of the frame. Not on the bottom, but near the bottom.
Oh.
All right, we've probably got...
Oh, I see her. I see her.
There
I
you
see
go.
her.
All right, make sure
Right
to get
there.
that on camera.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm blind. As
That's
a
our
bat.
queen. She's doing well. I'm
You
glad
go,
to see that.
cookie dough. Okay.
So, as I
Cool.
said, we've got eggs in here. I'm seeing more nectar and pollen.
Wow, I can't believe I saw cookie dough today.
So, we were actually having problems with this hive last week where they were looking like they might swarm.
They wanted to say bees out.
And if you can see, let me flip this back over for you. If you can see right there, there is a queen cup that
Yeah.
they built out.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have anything in it, which is good. But if the queen lays
Do
an
we
egg in
need
there,
to crush it, or will you leaving it?
we may, but I don't think it's really needed yet. We'll see what the rest
Last
of the hive
week
looks like.
I crushed, what, 5? 6?
Something like that. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So, if the queen lays an egg in that cell, and the bees start to work on it, that's where queens come from. So, if that develops, a new queen will hatch, and our bees will swarm. The queen will go off with somewhere around half of the population of the hive, and they're going to try to find a new hive. Because they think, hey, we're kind of filled up in the space that we have now, let's find a new place to
Lots
live.
of brood, buddy.
I'm going to drop this down a little bit, wait for the wind to go.
Well, while we're doing that, you can see that beautiful brood right there in the middle. It's that, like, I don't know, do you call it orangey?
Sure, I would call
Orangey
it orangey
color?
Yeah, a lot of capped brood in here. There's eggs in the places where there's no capped brood. And you'll notice a lot of these frames will have that honey ring right near the top. That's normal. The bees will put their brood down in a circle closer to the bottom, and then we'll have honey and pollen around it. Yeah, there's another broken cell here. So yes, Kelly said that she was ending up squishing queen cups last week. Because
I felt a little bad, but
it's a little early in the year to split our bees, which would be what we would need to do to stop them from swarming and to keep them here. But it's too early because we don't really have that many drones in the area. So if we have a queen
drones
hatch,
are the boys.
Yes.
And we have to have boys, to make babies.
right. And so the queen, once she hatches, it'll take her probably 7 or 9 days before she'll fly out, and she goes out on what's called a mating flight. She will go to a place called a drone congregation area, where a bunch of drones have all gotten together and they're flying around way up in the sky. And the queen will go there and they will mate. And that is where she gets everything she needs to make baby
Those
bees.
poor ones at the bottom.
I need to
There's
drop 'em
brood
down
on this side.
to try to help them out. There you go.
I don't know about anything else.
So, it's too early for the drones to be out. I've been watching, and we've got some capped drone cells, but not a lot. So I don't really want our queens to fly out to try to mate yet, because there's nothing to mate with. We got a couple of queen cups down here.
What is on this side? The drone brood? The bottom? On your left?
Yes, that's all drone brood. So we don't want to split or let the bees swarm because they're not going to have any drones to breed with, and they're not going to be able to start a new colony. Because what would happen with our colony is that the new queen would then have to fly out and breed with the drones so that we could actually get new baby bees. I don't think we're at a time where we can do that yet. So what we did was we went through and we squished all the queen cups. I think one of them had an egg in it, which would technically make it a queen cell. Once a queen lays an egg in it, it's a queen cell at that point. So we were hoping that we weren't too far gone where the bees are going to continue to try to swarm. What we also did was we took one of the frames that they had been drawing out from the edge and moved it into the center. So we split the brood nest a little bit, gave them a little bit more room to lay.
Do you feel like that's helped, or you don't know yet?
I think it has.
Okay.
From what I can see. It doesn't look like they're really trying to swarm. They've got a couple of queen cups, but I don't think they've got anything in them. They're not pushing for it.
Okay.
We also took a frame of brood out of here that was full of resources, brood, all that, and moved it over into the Chunky Monkey hive. And then moved one of the frames from the Chunky Monkey hive over into the cookie dough hive that didn't have a whole lot on it, just to try to give them a little bit more room to lay. So I think that's working well, and we have extra drawn frames, as we said in our last video. Our friend Raymond gave them to us. He said, hey, I've got some extra if you want some. So we went and grabbed them. Yes, thank you very much. But I think that's going to really help us to stop these bees from wanting to swarm.
Yeah.
So we're going to add some more frames today that are drawn.
Yeah.
But I don't really think they're looking like they're trying to swarm too hard. We've got a couple of queen cups that we may go ahead and smash just in case. We've seen the queen, we've seen plenty of eggs. When you wouldn't want to smash these queen cups is if you don't see any eggs, if you don't see the queen. Because that might mean that your queen died somehow and they're trying to make an emergency queen. Right. If they're trying to do that, you really don't want to stop it. Because if you stop it, you have no queen anymore.
And then we have no babies, and then we have no workers, and then we have no nothing.
Right, and then our hive dies out. So we don't want that.
Right.
So we've seen the queen, we've seen the eggs. We're safe to do that. Nothing is going to go wrong in the hive if we go through and squish them.
Yeah.
But
all right. So what are you going to keep doing? What is your plan of action for today?
So for today, I want to keep going through, see how many queen cups there are, see if they've laid in any of them, see if there's any of them that are coming along, probably squish them down, and then once we've done that, we will add a couple more frames of drawn combs so that they have plenty of room to build out.
Okay.
I may add a second box on top of this just because of how much they've done. I'll have to see how much they've drawn out, but they're starting to draw this frame from what I can see.
Okay. All right.
So when you add a second box is when the bees have started to use the two outside frames. You want the two inner frames on the outside to start being filled and that sort of stuff when you add a second box. We may go ahead and do that now since we have the drawn comb, and we can just replace all of this with drawn comb, bring a couple of frames up from the bottom, and then, give them a lot of extra space because they really are starting to pack this box out. They're starting to grow faster than the space they're in. So we're going to do our best to stop that.
Yep. All right, we're going to keep going, and then we'll update you guys and let you know what we decided to do.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. So, we are back here at the cookie dough hive, and, we said that we'd bring you back if anything interesting was happening. So, what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and add a second box onto here. We've got the drawn frames. They've started to work on the outside frames, drawing them. So, because of all that, I think we should be fine to add this. So what I've done is I've taken one of these frames from the edge that they had started working on. They had put eggs in, was looking pretty good. And I moved it right up into the top of the other box that we're going to, right in the middle, of the other box we're going to be adding on top. I'm trying to go slow here so I don't squish bees while I do this.
You better not squish cookie dough.
So, by moving up a frame that has eggs on it, that means that the bees are going to be forced to come up into the top box to take care of the eggs. Well, technically they're not taking care of the eggs. They'll keep them warm, but they'll take care of the larvae and all that kind of stuff. So that will promote the bees to come up into the top box and actually start working up there earlier than if we had just put regular frames in there.
Do we need to smoke these, or are they okay?
We might want to smoke them. Good call.
Just wondering.
Yeah, they're starting to get kind of high on here.
Yeah, because it's cold. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Probably because you've been working with them too much. Like, boy, bye.
Maybe. Look at this. The bees don't even care about the smoke because it's not going
it's
down
not
to them. It's literally just...
There you go.
Just had to puff it a little bit harder. The wind is just blowing it away today.
The wind is just rough.
All right. Woo! So, I'm going to add this box on top. And there is our second brood box. So this is probably as high as we're going to take the brood box. So if we add another box, that's honey for us to take off.
Can we do a little dance? Woo, woo.
Anyway, so I'll take this out for a second, and I'll move this over. So all these older frames that you see here, those are the drawn combs that we were given by our friend. This one here, I'll just let you kind of point in, is the one that we took out of there. So this is the one that's got the eggs on it. This is what's going to promote the bees to come up here. And you can already see...
Oh my word, look at them outside the hive.
If I push this over a little bit, you can already see the bees are on this. They're already going, hey, these are new combs. We like this. Let's work on them.
Just look at all these. Woo.
Yeah, it's been busy out front the whole
Yeah.
time we've been doing this. So we've got some more frames for them to draw out up here. We've got them a lot of extra space. There were a couple of queen cups down there. I think we'll leave them. I didn't see anything in the cells, and with the extra space, we should be fine. We're going to check on them again next week. So in our questions and answers video, we did talk about the life cycle of an egg to a queen. That takes 16 days to happen. When the egg is laid in the cell, it takes 9 days for it to be capped. As long as we catch it before it's capped, we should be fine. And I don't see any eggs in here. I especially don't see any larvae in there. So we've at least got 8 days, maybe 7 days. So as long as we come back next weekend, within a week, we should be fine. Even if they've started working on them, we can squish them then. So this is what we've done with the cookie dough hive this week. Glad that you could hang out with us. Hope you thought some of this was cool.
Yeah, can't believe it, guys.
I know. And as Kelly normally says, bees out.
Bees out, y'all.